I'm Sara Kooperman, and I'm the CEO of SCW Fitness Education. Yay. And thank you all for joining us for our free webinars. We do these on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which we love to do. Just so you guys know, if you move your mouse, you see at the bottom of the screen, the green share screen button. Please go to the left if you would. There's a chat box. Yeah, I know you know all about this, so don't even pretend you don't. And type into the chat box where you are from, please, please. We love to know where you're from. And I can see these names, Stacy and Jackie and John and Jules, Susan, Millie, Nanette, Shireen, Vivian. Come on, guys, tell us where you're from. We want to know. We got Michigan, we got Ohio, we got Illinois, Alabama, California, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. I can't breathe anymore. Okay, that's great. We want you to ask questions, because I've got amazing panelists on tonight. We've got Trina Gray and we have Melissa Layne. And what I love these ladies. I was fortunate enough to hear Trina speak actually at the IDEA convention. And I mean, boom, she just grabbed my heart. And she has presented at Manias before and just as amazing. Melissa Layne, oh my God. She's my idol when it comes to nutrition, and she's got a great story, which I'm sure she'll share. That how many years did you apply before we finally had you present?
I think I got in on year number 7, lucky number 7.
I thought it was 8, but she got rejected over and over again, and she always blames me, so I will absorb this. It wasn't me. But so we're lucky, we're fortunate, we're blessed to have Melissa. I'm going to tell you about Trina. She has owned the Bay Athletic Club, a medical-based health club, and Bay Urban Fitness, a large group training studio, for more than a decade. Okay, successfully owned. And she also founded Team Rockstar Fit, an online coaching team of not 10, not 20, not 100, but thousands of fitness professionals who partner with Beachbody. Okay, and I heard of Beachbody coaching, but she is a rock star herself. And Melissa Layne is a Kinesiology Department faculty member at the University of North Georgia. She has 30 years of experience in the fitness industry, and oh my God, she only looks like she's 30. And in the fitness industry, she has a master's degree in exercise physiology. She has authored books for human kinetics. She's authored multiple texts for the SCW nutrition certification. She is an incredible, incredible writer, intellect, and all around great gal. There we go. Okay, and so we're going to talk today about diversifying your fitness offerings. And we went from teaching in club before the pandemic, then we got shut down, then we've gone to streaming. And for some of us, me included, it's a period of reflection and self-discovery about your career and your aspirations and where you're going. And frankly, how are you going to support yourself through all of this? And it's a chance to try new disciplines, thinking about becoming a nutrition coach, thinking about becoming, let's say, a functional training expert or a beach body coach. You know, so what we're looking at is finding out how to really maximize the impact of your career and also significantly impact your income as well. And this is something, I mean, it's a reality. Sometimes when we talk about, you know, maximizing your income and we talk about the business strategies, everybody kind of feels like that's a bad word. That's something we shouldn't do. But the reality is we've got kids, we've got pets, we've got mortgages. We've got to put food on the table for those we love, and we've got to do it for ourselves, and we want to do it in a healthy manner, and we also want to do it so that we can survive economically. So I'm going to ask these amazing women, should I focus on one specialty moving forward, or should I become well-versed in a multiple of disciplines? So Trina, share, girlfriend.
Yeah, let's do this. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. I love the chat, already on fire. People who have been to our sessions before, jumping on tonight. So thanks for your time and investing your time to spend the evening with us. I'm coming to you, remember, I'm coming to you from a couple of different hats. And so it's helpful to know where your presenters are coming from when they're offering you advice. So as a health club owner, of 15 years, I have in the trenches, a team of 40 instructors, trainers, front desk folks. I myself have been a group fitness instructor for 23 years, and I've been an online coach before it was cool. I've been an online coach for 12 years. So I've already kind of bridged the gap of live and virtual, and I'm so grateful that I did before the world really handed it to us and said, you better be virtual. So my advice to you, and my background is coming from the hats of being in the health club industry, owning a health club that's gone from 1,000 members to 750 members, being a group fitness instructor who's gone from live to virtual, and being an online coach who has never seen such an explosion in my online business. In the 12 years I've been in it, this is my strongest, biggest year online and my largest revenue year. So my business and my income has just shifted from live to virtual. So do I think that you should diversify? Absolutely, 100%. You should have your hands in multiple buckets. And I'll give you an examples of what some of those might be. I would say that whatever you diversify into has to be something that you would love and enjoy and have fun delivering. So thinking just about like fitness formats, right? If someone told you to diversify, you could take that concept, but you might not pick every format. If you don't like step, if you don't like dance choreography classes, if you don't like aqua, or you don't like boxing, you wouldn't go into a format you don't love. So when we say diversify in areas that you would be passionate about. So here are the ones that I wrote down that I think for 2021, you need to take a serious look at these areas. A serious look at nutrition, which I know we'll get into more, and is certainly an area that Melissa and Sara will dive into. I have a different take on what nutrition coaching might look like, but I definitely think fitness professionals need to have their hands in nutrition in some substantial way. Of course, in fitness, in the way, in the kinds of fitness that you're offering, might be things that include less equipment, more body weight, Pilates, yoga, strength-based PIO classes, things that don't require equipment sharing, things that can be done from home. So when I say fitness, I mean fitness that's easily translated live to virtual. Health coaching. I think that for the past decade, I've been talking about getting more involved in coaching people's health versus just delivering squats and lunges. So health coaching, and then you have the venue to diversify. You're either looking at virtual, teaching classes across a digital platform, creating workouts for people virtually, referring them to virtual workouts. We're also talking outdoor. I don't know about all of your states, but I guarantee you've been through the experience that I have where we were live, then we were closed, and then we were outdoor, and then we were open, and now we're virtual, and now we're everywhere. Right. So having your hands in virtual, your hands in an outdoor format, in an outdoor location, and of course, keeping your hands in live, whether that's group training, group fitness, or one-on-one training. So nutrition, fitness, a lot to those, health coaching, virtual, outdoor, and live. So many things we can dig into and talk about tonight, Sara.
But I like what you meant, what you said. You said it's something you're passionate about. And what I find so endearing about that is that leads us to a lot of different modalities. And you're engaging in suggesting these different modalities and not being afraid of trying these different modalities and realizing that, it's, yes, I've been a teacher forever. I know exactly what I'm doing. I could cue with my eyes closed, with my arms, with my head. I can do whatever. I know how to do this, but how am I going to now do this on Zoom? How am I now going to do this, on Facebook Live? Learning that and realizing, be willing to go back to square one.
Yeah.
Be willing to start over, which means you're going to fail. You're going to mess up. And I'm like, if you're going to mess up, do it big. Do it big. I remember when we launched our first live stream mania, we did it in May. We were the first conference out there. We had over 1,000 people entering all at the same time at like 9 a.m. and the whole site crashed.
Oh boy.
It crashed. And in 5 minutes, oh my God, we were like, the phones were going, the people that were emailing, the whole staff is going crazy. And luckily, they figured out the site, they got everybody in, and within 5 minutes, the whole thing was running. But it was like,
Yeah.
I think I sweated more in those 5 minutes. I was like, than I ever have. So Melissa, you're the queen of diversity, because Melissa is possibly one of the finest instructors out there. I know she hates this,
Yeah, I'm
but
gonna cut you
she,
off right there. Thank you.
and no, but
I agree wholeheartedly with both of y'all that it has to be something that you have a passion about. I think that's the biggest thing. But Sara knows this probably better than anybody. When we shut down and the first mania was online, I was like, oh no, I am not going to do this. I'm technology challenged. I am not comfortable not seeing people's faces because everybody has their camera off, and how are they reacting to me, and do they have questions, and I can't take them then. So even though I wasn't passionate about it, Sara forced me to step out. You did, and you know it. She forced me to step out of my comfort zone. And even for the first mania, I said, I will do lectures. I'll do nutrition and exercise phys lectures, but I am not comfortable doing any movement with the music and everything on screen. And to this point, I still won't use music. So I think we do have to put ourselves out there and at least say, let me try it. I still won't say I'm passionate about it, but I do it. So I think that's important. And I think we also have to look at how you're diversifying yourself, because I started in this industry as a group fitness instructor. That is my passion, seeing everybody move to the music back in the olden days when you taught step and at the end they put it together and it was like one big Broadway show. And personal training has always been something I've stepped back into when I needed some more income. And even though I've been very, very blessed during the pandemic, my university has remained open. My club was the club I teach at was only closed for 4 months and 10 days. And we jumped right back in with both feet. I had time to think, what do I want to do now? And I happened upon a little bit of personal training out of my house. And even though it's not my favorite thing to do, it became something I enjoyed because I started doing it as bartering. So I'm bartering with other people in my community because honestly, I hear my tax professionals saying to me, you have to pay taxes on that money, Melissa, you have to pay taxes on that money. So I've gone back and I like to personal train in the bartering sense of it. So I think we need to diversify, do what we're good at, and also look at who our audience is. I think as we get older and hit that 40 to 60 range where we're not an active ager, but we're very concerned about how we feel, then look at becoming a professional, particularly for those women that are premenopausal and postmenopausal, their specific exercise needs, their joint replacements, their nutrition needs. So I think there's, like Trina said, there's so many things we could jump into tonight.
yeah, and I like that. God, I feel like I'm selling a used car here, but we just started an active aging summit that we've flushed it out, and we're going to get ready to design it starting next week. But it's activeagingsummit.com, and it's 50 workshops specifically focused for active agers. Because what I worry about what's going to happen after this pandemic is we've got these people that right now for 9 months, they've been sitting on a couch. And then we're going to have to go through this for 9 more months until everybody's vaccinated, or at least there's herd immunity somehow, and people feel more comfortable about going out. And then, you know what? We're going to have a huge crisis on our hands with Medicare and Medicaid and people going on welfare and needing assistance, both physically, emotionally, of course, mentally, and this burden rests. I'm not going to say it's a burden, but it comes to us. And if we can diversify, and we all know a lot of healthy eating strategies. We all know if we can be a group fitness instructor, what to do. We can translate that into coaching, into mentoring, into life coaching, into it, like what Melissa did in diversifying into personal training. And what we want to be able to do is have the faith, have the confidence that we can do this, and making those mistakes. I was just reading about, Jules just said this about you, Trina. Our club definitely took advantage of outdoor. We even had a class in November where instructors were brought hot chocolate after I did a Facebook Live and on-demand classes and things like that. And I guess it was Julia had said, I know the word pivot is overused, but I was able to pivot into teaching on various platforms at home, failing a lot, of course, and forgetting to charge my phone, which we've all done when you're filming, right? And stuff, but these webinars walked me through all the stuff. So I know Trina does a lot of coaching with your Beachbody affiliates, right? With your Beachbody coaches.
Yeah. So yeah, most of the people that I work with are people already in the fitness industry. So these are instructors and trainers and some club owners who were looking to diversify even before the pandemic. So, for the past 12 years, I've helped instructors and trainers add online coaching. Let me just check. Sarah, can you hear me okay? Is my internet okay for you?
I hear you great.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
So here's why. The reason why I found that mostly the women who reached out to me wanted to diversify before the world told us we had to. So think about this and think if this resonates with you. People came to me over the past 10 years to diversify online because they wanted more control over their income and their calendar. So as an instructor and a trainer, we get in the rut of being just living on our clients and our popular class time slots. So a lot of women who I work with also want to see their kids play sports. They want to drive them to school or pick them up. They want to be there to take them to school, and always training or coaching live at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. or 5:30, 6:30 at night really isn't very conducive to building a thriving career and being, in my opinion, a parent or a mom. So I was interested in diversifying honestly before it was popular to diversify, because I wanted a thriving career in fitness without always having to be somewhere at any given time. Also, being from a smaller town, as some of you might relate to, I also wanted to be able to expand my income, take the lid off my income, not just based on my zip code. And so, although we might be great personal trainers and group fitness instructors, we are so limited by geography when we're only live. So my interest in getting involved in nutrition coaching and virtual fitness coaching over the years has been that I want to be a present mom and I want a thriving career. So that is what I'd say. Yeah, go ahead.
No, and I think what we have to realize is you can sprain your ankle, you can end up with knee surgery.
Yes.
I have 4 kids. I've been pregnant for I think 3 years if you add it up. Okay. We have issues that arise. We have things that happen to us. And if we want to be able, I don't want to just be an instructor. I want to be able to continue to lead my healthy lifestyle, but help others lead theirs. And I like this because I think it gives us that diversity, that gives us a cushion and a pad during some of our more difficult times.
That's exactly right. And I, before we go to Melissa, on that note of being able to have a career that can carry you through different phases of life. I have women on my team who were just really sick of beating their own bodies up, teaching 15, 20 classes a week or 30 training sessions a week. And they had the fortitude to say, I'm really talented. I have a lot to share. And it doesn't always have to be me beating my body up and me being somewhere at a given time. And one of my really top coaches on my team, Libby Burkhalter, is probably certified in 30 formats, right? She's taught everything under the moon. And she's a thriving coach on my team because she brings her energy and passion for fitness and now isn't limited by living in Shreveport, Louisiana. She can coach people anywhere. So I help people set up their own virtual studio. And they can lead live classes, use other workouts from other companies, offer health coaching, motivational coaching, life coaching, all kinds of things. So it is my passion of diversifying fitness is not just because COVID told us we had to. My passion for diversifying was that why not be in charge of your own income and your own career path and your own schedule?
And Melissa's nodding.
Trina comes from a totally different place than I do because I'm not a mother. I have never been a mother. I've never had a desire to be a mother. I got into the fitness business because I got a nursing degree and then I got a degree in medical technology. And I was like, A, I don't like sick people. B, I don't want to do the same thing day after day after day. And so that's why I've loved the fitness business, is because I've done so many things, from running 7 clubs in the Atlanta area to presenting for you for 15 years to, I never dreamed of being a college professor. That was never on my radar. I never thought I'd write a book. And during the pandemic, I was starting to get bored. Even the introvert that I am the biggest introvert, and Sara knows that, but I was like, I have got to do something. So an old colleague reached out to me and she said, hey, I have some clubs that need to be opened up. Will you go back and teach them how to teach group fitness? Because I actually plucked her out of the front row and taught her how to teach group fitness. So that goes back to where you said, starting over again. What do we need to do to get our feet back out there and do that? So reaching back out to other people and seeing what they're doing and where you can jump on board. And I've done it to diversify, to keep myself literally mentally sane. Like I said, my income's been there. So I was going crazy sitting in my house. So I think everybody has a reason for how and why they diversify, and we need to really respect that.
And I have to agree with you. I mean, diversification doesn't just mean how am I going to make more money and supplement my income. For me, diversification meant, I hope you're sitting down, Melissa, I'm cooking.
Yeah, I saw that post.
I know. And then my friend gave me grief for it because she said you shouldn't be posting the food you're cooking when there's people starving out there. And then, and then I started talking to Trina saying, I don't know if I should politically post my opinion on the idiocy that happened last night. Oh my God, I can't even.
And I said, let's not go off track because it'll be hard for me to bring myself back.
I know, I'm sorry, I won't talk about it. Dear Lord. But for me, diversification meant, you know what? I always say, I don't cook. I exercise. I think I eat pretty well. I'm fabulous with a spreadsheet. Give me a chart of accounts any day of the week, and there I am. But I've really enjoyed the cooking, and it's that diversification that helps. It's also helped with my self-esteem, because I feel like when we can't be who we are, like I'm looking at the people on this call and I recognize a lot of them from the fitness industry. And I think about it, we're givers, give. I know my husband always laughs when he hears me say that, because I think it's shop. Anyway, but give. We tell people what to do. We talk to them. We listen to their issues. We tell them about ourselves. This is our communication. This is our lifeblood here. And then we can't do that. And like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with myself? And I'm not getting those 50 people in my class like I used to. I'm all excited. I got 12 people in my Zoom yoga class, and I went back to teaching. I drive to the Y every Tuesday and Friday, and I'm alone in a room filming. And that's what I'm doing. And I know you're smiling, Melissa, because it's who I am. It's bringing me such unbelievable joy, because I'm really doing something new, and I had to conquer it. I had to conquer my fear of virtual. And I'm going to share this with you guys just because I think this is pretty important. ACSM, the American College of Sports Medicine, just came out with their top 10, 20 list, of 2021 of the trends, which I'm going to say this, and I'm a little scared that I'm saying this out loud, but hey, it's our webinar. We can say what we want and we can erase it later. But ACSM is in some regards very out of touch with what's really happening on the ground floor, what's really going on in our studios, in our clubs, when we're the frontline workers. We're the ones that see these people. We know what classes are filling up. I get it that the medical community and the club owners are contributing, but I think we do get a hand in what's going on. But number one for ACSM is online training. Number two is wearable technology. Number three is body weight training. And Trina, you brought that up, which I thought was very astute. Without equipment. Hello, yeah. And number four was outdoor activities. Well, welcome to the pandemic. Number five was HIIT training, which scares me to death because I am 61 years old. You, Melissa, you said the 40 to 60-year-old who aren't yet active agers. I hate you a little bit. Okay.
Just a little.
It kind of came to the back of my throat and I swallowed it back down. All right. And then we've got virtual training was number 6, which that's different than online training. Okay. And then, which might mean on demand and recorded, etc. And then number 7 was exercise is medicine. Key, love to hear that, because again, we're going to get dumped on with all the people that have been sedentary during the pandemic. And then strength training with free weights was number 8. And number 9 was fitness programs for older adults. You're right, Melissa. And then we've got number 10 was personal training. And I think the personal training comes into play also because of this pandemic and this fear of group training. And number 11, you ready for this? Health and wellness coaching. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to kind of stop there. We've got mobile exercise apps, employing certified fitness professionals. Functional training was number 14. 15 was yoga. 16, exercise for weight loss. Wish that said fat loss. 17 is group training. 18 is lifestyle medicine. Okay. And then 19 is leisure licensure for fitness professionals. And then number 20 was outcome measurements. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I think they, in a lot of points, they have hit on things. I will tell you for SCW, number 1 and number 2 and number 3, number 1, functional training and active aging flips back and forth from show to show. Number 3, always nutrition. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a great list, and things that we talked about in the first question you asked me about, should you be well-versed in multiple disciplines? I talked about online training, body weight training, outdoor training, formats that don't use a lot of equipment like HIIT training, virtual training, strength training with free weights. We've really had to shift. So maybe we can talk a little bit about what formats translate well online, why you want to be teaching something online. Is it okay to chat about that a little bit, Sara?
Oh, go for it, honey.
Okay. So for those of us who've been teaching live, as many of you have, we're used to just like having a 5:30 time slot with 30 people there, or I teach on Saturday mornings with about 40 people in group strength training. And what I noticed was when we were forced to shut down and we went virtual right away that same day, by a couple weeks in, I went from having 40 people in a live class to 80 people on a virtual class. And I recognized that doing virtual isn't just putting your thumb in the plug and like waiting for things to go back to normal. I think the people that are going to do well virtually, and we've really dove into it at my club and with my coaches, we've really wanted to master it, is that, no, wait a second, this is a great way to expand. This isn't just this holding pattern. I think trainers that are looking and instructors are looking at virtual as a holding pattern, like until I can get back to live, I'll never just go back to live. We will now reopen classes are still closed here in Michigan. We're allowed to reopen group fitness classes next Saturday. We will reopen all of our group fitness classes as a hybrid. Now, I never would have done that if I wasn't forced to go virtual. But once I recognized the value of virtual, how many people will step away from their desk, step away from the couch, step away from the kitchen and the laundry and the kids to simply walk to their living room and join for a class, we've been able to really grow our reach virtually. So when we go back to live, we'll now do a hybrid. We can talk a little bit about if people want some best practices, what that looks like, but we installed a big screen TV in our studio. So when we're on a live/virtual class, we call them hybrid classes. We can see all the participants at home in their grid, and we can see everybody in class with us. We have a microphone that goes right to the soundboard and directly to the computer for good sound quality. And we invested in a better camera. So it's more of an HD. These are all things that I didn't look at. This is just a hiccup. I can't wait to get back to normal. I'm creating a new normal. So diversifying can be really exciting. So that's just a little conversation about the classes that seem to translate well for us are Pilates, body weight things like we have a body blast class, an arms and abs class, a yoga class. Things that don't translate well from live to virtual are unfortunately a lot of the pre-choreographed classes that you are a part of or that you've been certified in. So our turbo kick, our Zumba, our pre-choreographed set to music classes don't translate as well because people are going different directions. The music can be really well done if you use the right technology, but still isn't going to be like in a studio. So we've just adjusted to moving less to the beat of the music and moving more to an interval or a number of reps. So there's some tips and thoughts on the things that you mentioned are things that we talked about at the beginning. And those are some things that are working for us.
Yeah, I think that's great, Trina. I think we do need to realize that we're not only going to stay hybrid, and I really agree with you. I think we have to think about the pandemic. We have to think about the Spanish flu from 1919, that pandemic. And then what did we have right afterwards? We had the 20s, the roaring 20s, okay, from 1920 on, where people went crazy and they had parties and they had events and they wanted to be live and they wanted to touch and see and be involved. But what we've done during this pandemic is we've sped up that ability for technology. I mean, we've got grandmas, they're Zooming back, they're on Facebook Live, they're doing, technology was thrust upon us. We've always pivoted. Okay, I love the word pivot. I'm getting a little, again, with the little thing in the back of the throat with the word pivot. We've always pivoted. When we started SCW, there were no computers, there were no cell phones, there was no World Wide Web, there was no fax machines. We had to mail things and I had a landline, okay? I was excited when I could use one phone with 2 lines. What a concept, okay? Right. And we pivoted for the past 36 years. And but that pivoting has accelerated. And now it's that convenience and I've tasted it and I want it.
Yeah,
I want it. I'm gonna stay with Zooming my classes, and I really do enjoy that. Melissa, you were talking about the struggle that you had with yourself. Like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Because Melissa hates technology. I mean, she doesn't even like a PowerPoint. Why we bring a flip chart to every mania? It's for her.
Because I'm a great drawer. I draw great pictures. That's why you bring a flip chart.
but seriously, I'm going to tell you, this woman teaches courses online now for universities. She writes books. She will dive into so many things, but you were terrified of it. But how did you overcome it? How did you finally dive in?
I reached out to a lot of people that were very good at teaching online. We have some professors that have come from situations even before the pandemic that are just incredible with their ideas about discussion posts. And I had no idea about how to operate the camera that was on our online learning platform. And I was constantly knocking on people's door, dropping my head, going, will you help me? And I just knew that I had to do it. And more than anything, I had to make a switch from somebody who, I don't assign students a chapter to read. I draw with magic markers in different colors up on the board. So now all of a sudden I have to find a way to do that online. So I was setting everything up. People literally walk into my office, and you actually made a comment where you said, Melissa, if you send us those pictures, we can put them in your PowerPoint. And I said, but then I can't point to the things that I want to talk about. So I had to use my teaching style, which from what I hear is successful, and I had to turn it into a Zoom. And I am not teaching online classes in fitness on Zoom, other than I teach an online school class called cardio conditioning, where I have to teach them how to teach group fitness online. And that's about all there is. But kudos to the people like Trina that are going out there and say, this is what works best, and let me share my best practices with you. But I think we just have to jump in and we have to say, if I want to stay in this business, and you're right, we're givers. We want to make everybody happy. We want to share our information. I started a Facebook page that I never would have done prior to the pandemic, because people ask me after every mania, do you have a website where you share your tidbits, where you teach, where you talk about nutrition? And before the pandemic, I was always like, I'm too busy. As soon as the pandemic hit, I'm like, I guess I'm not too busy, but I'm still learning things. So Hayla sent me a video today, and we're still trying to figure out how to get it on my Facebook page. So it's just one of those things that you've got to jump in and you say, I'm going to roll with the tide and I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And you say, oh, I don't want to teach my, a live class or whatever, and it's scary. But oh my gosh, you've done so much. Like, look, from teaching, going from, I'm not even going to go online, I'm not even going to do a PowerPoint, to being able to do it. And it's absolutely exceptional what you've done. I am going to ask Mike, who's running our webinar tonight, Mike Lieber, who is our cinematographer. He's amazing. I'm going to ask him to put in the chat box a link to AV Now, because
he did actually. Yeah,
he did put it in there.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, it's up at the top. It's up at
Yep.
the top of the chat. But Mike, thank you so much. So if you're interested in upgrading your equipment, and I do appreciate that Mike put, it's just avnow.com, frankly. So I think that should, let me make sure. Yeah, avnow.com. Trina talked about, it's not easy to integrate the music and the moves. It's not easy. I have to use my computer and my phone and my AirPods, and I can get it synchronized easily. The YMCA I work at got an inexpensive $80 microphone and a little mixer, and they use their computer, and boom, I play my music, and I've got my little microphone, and I brought about 20 windscreens from SCW. Gave them to the Y, so everybody's got their own windscreen. You got to be careful, and we all teach, but it's very scary, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do that.
There's a question up there, Sarah. Do you mind if I answer that?
No, go ahead. Please read the question.
Okay. Stacy was asking earlier, a gentleman asked earlier, I think, about if I was doing my classes online for free. And I said, no, in all caps. So we should address that. And then Stacy said, okay, how do you charge for that? So let me address that quickly. There's two different ways that, again, coming from two different worlds, my live health club Group X world, I can tell you what we charge there. And then my 100% virtual Beachbody world, I can tell you what we charge there. And you have both options. Melanie, I'm so happy to see that Zumba virtual has been successful for you. And if it's a format you love, and you've got the music and the cueing down, as I'm sure you do, I'm sure it's been amazing. And my opinion is, just looking at my own club, we teach 4 virtual classes a day, 7 days a week since March. So literally hundreds and hundreds of virtual classes. And just when I look at overall participation, our average numbers are around 25 people per class. Our bigger classes, started at 80 and now have kind of gone to 50-ish over time. But our lowest attended classes are our choreographed dance classes. So it might just be that that's not resonating as well in our market, and people seem to like the easier to follow things that aren't as music dependent, but I love that it's worked for you. I'm just letting people know if they're looking to branch into virtual training, leading with a format that's more body weight, not set to music, has been more successful for us. What do we charge? So we left our membership prices the same. Even though we were virtual, we were still teaching great classes with awesome energy, and we're still here. And so I own a pretty big medically based health club in a low income community. We have really low rates. So it's between $40 and $50 a month to be a member at my medically based health club. It includes all of our classes. So I left my membership the same. I left the membership numbers the same. Even when the club closed, I said, we're still showing up for you. And we immediately put out a schedule for them. So if you're going to do something virtual, I'd suggest getting a schedule, sticking to it. Understand it's going to take people a little while to get up to speed, and you can't keep switching things on them. So we just went with 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12:15, 4:30, and 5:30, right? So now we're up to 5 a day. And we just stuck to those time slots and held on to them and said, I know that they'll eventually find us and figure it out, and we'll grow this. So we charge the same. So it's, between $40 and $50 a month, depending if they're a senior or student or regular member. And that gives them access to all of our classes. It's on a private Zoom line that you have to have a membership to access. And we track attendance in those classes. So that's that side of it, about $50 a month for unlimited group fitness classes. In the virtual only world, in the Beachbody world, most of the women I work with have a virtual studio set up in a private Facebook group. They refer people to Beachbody On Demand, which is $100 for the year for the client. They have access to all Beachbody workouts for that $100, and the trainer keeps 50 of it per person. They pay that to have access to the workouts. Then they can also teach their own classes in their virtual gym, and they can charge extra for that if they'd like. So they could charge $10 a class, $20 a month. Again, if it's not a huge health club with a ton of variety and it's just you teaching, you might just charge per class, or $25 a month, or $30 a month for a couple classes a week.
What's interesting, Trina, is somebody asked is doing this independently, and they said, how do you charge? A lot of people just do Venmo, because you can just do it on your phone. They do it on, anybody can download it. I can download it. Anybody can.
Yeah, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, they all have easy ways to set up a bill and have auto
Zelle is
payment.
great. Stripe is great. The Square is a little bit more manual, but it works if you're going to be doing outdoor programming. Stripe is one that really seems to be preferred by a lot of the different websites that tend to be out there. We are getting to the point where we have 2 minutes left here. I'm so sorry I jumped on you. Trina, can you give us a quick wind up of what your thoughts are, and then I'll ask Melissa as well, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I will answer those questions in the chat after I talk about this. So here's what I'd say. Don't look at the pandemic as a hiccup or as I'll just hold on and wait till things get back to normal. Don't look at it as that I have to diversify to stay alive. Look at it as this is a great opportunity. If you've always wanted to step into nutrition, if you've always wanted to step into virtual training or online training, this is your opportunity to do it. People have been very forgiving along the way. So if you're not tech savvy, you're okay. The people you're serving aren't that tech savvy. And they've been very forgiving and understanding along the way. So if you go into it with confidence and say, you know what, I'm going to grab onto technology like I own it. I'm going to try these virtual classes. I'm going to dive into nutrition coaching. I'm going to work on my health coaching. I'm going to set up a virtual studio. People want to see that you're innovative. People want to see that you're trying. People aren't looking for perfection and expertise as much. They're not looking for perfection and expertise. They're looking for accountability, and they're looking for community. And it doesn't take a lot to offer accountability and community. And so if I was going to diversify my career right now, I'd look at how can I keep people more accountable at home with their nutrition and their fitness and their self-care, and how can I create a sense of community, even virtual? I would do that more than I'd invest in expensive certifications. So that's my takeaway for you, Sara. I hope that that's helpful.
Okay, that's great. And Melissa, somebody just asked, how do they find you on Facebook?
If you friend me, which is Melissa Layne, I have a Facebook page called Melissa's Minute, and every Monday through Friday, we post a video about nutrition, exercise phys, water workouts, active aging, everything. I've got about 20 professionals that provide content for me, and just shoot PM and we'll put you in the group. And that kind of brings me to my final words. Number one, definitely find a passion. Jump into it just exactly like Trina said. I am not an online person, but I diversified in person. I'm doing personal training in my basement because people are more comfortable one-on-one. And go with the nutrition, because we all know that nutrition plays a major role in staying healthy during the pandemic. I am going to say not all certifications have to be expensive. And if you're going to do nutrition coaching, please make sure you have a very strong mentor or certification, and Sara has them in nutrition, so you stay within your scope of practice and so you're giving people the correct information. I cannot tell you how many times I have heard people say vegetables are not carbs. And right then and there, I get very, very scared. So not all your certifications. Sara has done a great job in keeping her certs inexpensive. And we have a nutrition one coming up in February, nutrition coaching for the fitness professional, that will get you started on the right foot. And it's funny, but there's a Beachbody strong member presence that has sat through that certification with me. And kudos to the people in Beachbody that are taking it to nutrition from the ground up. So
that's great. That's great. All right, guys, I am going to end this fabulous webinar with a really exciting announcement. We've got we just launched our live stream mania today. This is our mania that we're doing February 26th through 28th. And we get to end this with our wonderful video that Mike Lieber actually created. So I want to thank you all. Thank you all for joining us. I will see you on Tuesday at our next free webinar, which is creating memorable online classes. So if you're interested in how do I do small group training, personal training, group classes, and make them memorable, how do I do that? And the people joining us are Kelly Roberts, Jeff Howard, and Christine Conti. So I'll see you all on Tuesday. Thank you so much, Trina. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you, Mike Lieber. And we're out of here.